Welcome back to Relationships at Work, your guide to building workplace connections and avoiding leadership blind spots. I'm your host, Russel Lolacher, a communications and leadership nerd with a couple of successful decades of experience in both of those areas and a whole heap of curiosity on how we can make the workplace a better place. If you are a leader trying to understand and improve your impact on work culture and the employee experience, you're in the right place. This is our Thursday mini episode, just a quick valuable bit of information on top of our guest-filled shows that drops every Tuesday. This one, of course, every Thursday. Just a little something to help your mindset shift in the week or weeks to come. They're all inspired by our Raw Note newsletter. This one's just probably a couple of months behind in where we are. You, of course, can always subscribe to that by going to relationshipsatwork.ca or russellolacher.com. But for now, let's get right into it. The note I'm passing on to you, interview questions we actually really want to be asked. Job interviews are super interesting. They're also super weird. It's unnatural. It's an unnatural situation to be in. Not all interviews are the same. I'm just talking about 95% of them. It's just not a normal situation. It's an environment where we know it isn't structured really to get to know us as people, but really for us to go through these hoops to follow some formula to get to the success that we want at the end of the tunnel. Of course, it's a formula. They ask the same questions no matter what industry you're in. Tell me about yourself. What are your strengths and weaknesses? Why do you want to work for our company? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Can you describe a challenge or conflict you faced at work and how you dealt with it? And on and on and on. None of these are original. We hear them over and over again. But why do companies do this? Truthfully, it's because it's easier. It's not about the candidate, it's about the organization. It saves them time. It's a process that's easier for them to mark and score, and it establishes a baseline and a benchmark in which to filter from. Now, I'll be honest, and I'm sure I've spoken to many members of our community, and they're pretty honest too. They're kind of disappointed by the questions that we get asked because it doesn't feel like it's about us. We know these organizations are following a standardization, but in doing so, they remove the humanity out of the situation. We want to hire humans that will be good cultural fits, but we also want interviewers who aren't just reading a script and show that they are people too, who we want to work for and work with. One area for questions that could use some work is around leadership, especially leadership. Most questions seem far more focused on problem solving, on the management side of things, not leadership. It's never about actual leadership or measuring the possible impact that we as applicants could have on organizational culture. So I reached out to our community about what questions they would like to see asked in job interviews. Pretty good ones too. The first one they supplied, provide a short presentation on your primary leadership style, top values, feedback, difficult conversation style, and how a difficult team member taught you leadership and your development plan. I love that. Here's another. Tell us about a time you inherited a problem employee and what did you do? Tell us about a time you managed up. Do you mind if we contact your previous team members to solicit their opinion on the type of leader you were with them? Oh, I love that one. We don't do that enough. We talk about colleagues and we talk about people they report to, but if you're a good leader, it's about the team that report to you, not the people you report to. And the last one from the community, what is the most important reason why you want to be a leader? These are so good. Big thanks to Steve, Bill, Krista, and Liz for these amazing contributions. I love these questions. I wish we used them. So I had to slip in one of mine. How has your leadership helped some of your team members on their employee journey? Give examples. We talk about leadership so much in our organizations, but we do so little to explore it in our job interviews. They seem so focused on results and how we overcome obstacles to deliver the results. Yeah, that's important too. I get it, but it's not everything. It's also how we get those results, how we impact culture for the long term, not just short term. And interviews are such a great opportunity to set up our organization for success by bringing in people who will improve on or work to fix the current culture and subcultures. But if we don't take it seriously at this point, at the beginning of the journey for so many in our organization, we're setting ourselves up for failure in trying to have to address this later on. So why not make the effort at the introduction rather than try to address the damage before it's too late? And that will do it for another Relationships at Work, your guide to building workplace connections and avoiding leadership blind spots. As always, I'm Russell. Thank you so much for being here. If you've got a moment, you like the words coming out of my mouth, and you've enjoyed our guest episodes as well that come out every Tuesday, I highly recommend you check out Raw Notes. We've relaunched it. By we, I mean I. I've relaunched it, sent it out to the world. It's a lot more, I wouldn't say a lot more valuable, but it's certainly a lot more focused on providing you mindset shifts, takeaways from guests that we have, the resources they recommend. I'm really enjoying putting it together. I've already gotten some amazing kudos from you. So if you're curious, which I know you are because you're listening to this podcast, head over to relationshipsatwork.ca or russellolacher.com. At the top, you'll see a free Raw newsletter, and click on that, follow the instructions, and you have it in your inbox. All right, take care. I look forward to talking to you again.